Hi, comic readers, and welcome to another live episode of Off the Rack. Unless you're catching this after the fact, in which case, welcome just to the show, Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
I'm Tiffany.
Here on ComicPop Returns, we make all kinds of live shows, including Elseworlds Exchange and Off the Rack. We also have another show called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The most recent episode just dropped actually last week, so go check that out
Yeah.
if you are of a mind. And hey, while you're doing that, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell for notifications so you know when these shows are going live and happening, because it's a real hassle to have to post a video on Instagram and TikTok and all the YouTube shorts. I'm actually making a joke because, it's actually a pleasure and it's a privilege to do that, even if I didn't do any of those things except for Instagram today.
Wow.
I know. I'm sorry. But we should mention that this show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show by using the super chats and asking a question or comment. We'll put it here on the show. We'll answer the question or comment also as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you're like, we're going to answer the shit out of this question.
It's going to be great. It's going to be unbelievable,
Just
folks.
Wait and see.
But we're going to be talking about the books that came out this past week, recap and review them, tell you what we thought about them, and then recommend comics that are coming out this week that we think that you should pick up.
Yeah.
We should also mention that if you want to help us more directly, you should go to patreon.com/ComicPop, where there is an exclusive podcast called The Red Raider Show, in which you get behind-the-scenes access and the ramblings of me. It's just me, unedited, no bullshit, just chatting. And if you don't like listening, you can also check out the transcript of that show in the same post. Did I steal the idea from Scott Snyder and his Best Jacket Press Substack? Yes, I did. Or not. You never know.
Oh, the Red Raider thing?
Yeah.
No, we stole it from someone else that I recommended you.
No, but I did steal the transcript idea.
That's true. But it was it came from something else.
It did.
It came actually not even a stealing, because it was an inspiration from another creator that's not comic book related that I follow on Patreon.
That's true. That's true.
I also I support people on Patreon.
That's true. Yeah. So do I.
I don't support us because that just seems weird.
It would be very weird. You support us by being on the show.
Yeah, it's just I was like, wait, I could just give you money in person, and that would be
even weirder.
Patreon wouldn't take anything.
That's true. Don't do either of those things. But hey,
I just throw money at you and be like, dance.
Yeah. But hey, you know what else is cool is that fancy hat that Tiffany's wearing. Look at that. Brand new ComicPop merch that you can't buy online because we're too pathetic to own an online store. They're hard and they're expensive. And I don't know why I'm doing that. But listen, if you want to get one, come to our merch booth at New York Comic Con.
Or we'll figure out the whole online thing at some point.
We'll figure it out. We need a guy.
We don't need a guy. We can do it. It's just whether or not we want to commit.
What we
We're
really
afraid
need,
of the commitment.
what we really need is Tiffany to get fired from her job, and then we will have a guy.
Please do not help with that.
Do not help with that. If you really want to help with that, just give me more money. And then
what? No.
And then she'll quit the job. Let's jump into some books. Let's talk about it. Tiffany has a book from forever ago.
It wasn't forever ago. It was 2 weeks ago.
That's death in comic book world terms.
I just wanted to say
it's a weekly show.
I read Ghost Rider. That's it. It's
enough said. Yes,
said.
The silent issue. Nothing written, right?
No,
I'm kidding. I know you made that.
No. It's just, you know what? This issue, Ghost Rider, written by Ben Percy with art by
Peoples. Mario Van Peebles.
Wow, how did you know that?
I'm
Is
kidding.
That really it?
No.
Oh,
that's a joke about an old actor from forever ago.
I don't know.
No, it's Brent Peoples.
Jeez. All right.
Yeah. Hey, remember Peoples from no.
Just made us tiny. You're like, nope.
I was gonna make that. There's a character in the reboot Shaft movie from 2000, starring Samuel L. Jackson. His name is he's like, I'm Peoples, and he stabs himself because he's showing how awesome he is. That has Christian Bale pre-Batman in it. It's a really, really weird, fun movie that I had a very singular experience seeing in the theaters, but we won't talk about that today. Today we're talking about Ghost Rider or Wolverine number 6.
It's Ghost Rider.
Okay.
It's definitely Ghost Rider number 6.
All right.
Yeah, what I want to say about this book is how much it felt kind of like
classic Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Yay!
It had that vibe, and there's a lot of ridiculous things happening, and straight up has to be in the art some 1982 The Thing references in there, at least in monster design and some of what it's doing. I was like, that kind of looks like that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely had some
it's just noises today for Tiffany. Just
because like, I want to say a word, but I don't mean this word because this word has like a negative.
We do that all the time on this
connotation,
show.
but that's not what I mean. Like,
Josh Williamson somewhere's watching you, just staring at you like, yeah, choose your word.
he didn't write this.
No, I know.
As the words I say.
But every month you're like, oh man, here's a book that I'm going to talk about derisively.
But like, okay, so let's not even get into that. Josh, I'm sorry.
He's like, no, you're not. That's so disingenuous.
I am sorry.
Don't be sorry about being honest.
I'm sorry that you're not crafting a story I'm interested in. But no, this book has like a schlock factor to it.
It's a Ghost Rider book. It better.
But like, no, listen, like it is definitely a higher caliber of
schlock.
Well, I don't mean like that. I mean like they're taking it seriously. They're not like, you know,
they're not like,
they're not chewing the scenery necessarily, but there is definitely something to it where it's like a little like
exploitative or silly.
Like a little bit. Like
I mean, it says Ghost Rider versus Wolverine on the cover.
Yeah, and like, yeah, technically there is a fight in this, but it's less not a real fight. It's more he's fighting the thing in him. It's a whole thing.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, like Johnny and Ghost Rider realize that they need one another.
Okay.
Like they're lesser without one another.
Fine.
So I'm like, that's cool. But like there's a lot of like, you know, violence and fighting and gore and monsters and just, you know, Wolverine and Ghost Rider just squaring off and, you know, just talking about their inner demons and other, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot going on. And then like Ghost Rider's going to join the FBI. He's going to be recruited.
Oh boy.
Johnny Blaze will be.
All right.
But that's why I got the like older Danny Ketch Blaze kind of vibes to it. Like, hey, let's just try something. Who cares? Remember that time Ghost Rider worked with the FBI? Like that was a weird time.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just it made me think of that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that. It's just kind of fun, especially having Wolverine in there because like, you know, obviously Danny Ketch, a lot of those books, like there were like random like cameos.
Well,
people like Captain America would show up, Doctor Strange would show up, like all like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of characters who would be like, hi, I'm here now.
Right.
Okay, now goodbye.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Hope I help boost your sales.
Right.
Isn't Percy writing Wolverine as well?
Is he?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I was gonna say I think he's writing X-Force.
Yeah. I think he's doing that too.
That's what I immediately thought of, but I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right about that. So it you know, Wolverine could show up for this. Also, Wolverine gets like random fire claws for a second, and I was like,
oh no, what?
No, it's different. It's not that. It's
they should have been hot claws.
They were like hot claws,
right? But only because like they were.
But they're hellfire claws, because like Ghost Rider like needs him to like the spirit of vengeance needs him to like burn this thing out of him that's in him, right? And so he's like basically like spits fire on his claws, and he's like, here's your hellfire claws, and I'm like, hot claws.
Hot claws, remember that? That's cool. You know, they're in the zeitgeist right now because if you want to like buy an action figure with Wolverine, it's the Hot Claws Wolverine that came out, and I was like, wow.
So, but like this one, I was like, all right, cool. Like at least it's like for a reason. It serves a purpose, and then they go away. And we move on to the new status quo for Johnny Blaze. Right. I mean, like it also like it makes sense to pair these two up. You got the writer presumably writing both books, and then also like with another book I read this week, Midnight Suns is a video game in which Wolverine will be there. So it's
synergy.
Like synergy. Even these two books have nothing to do with one. Oh, am I doing this?
Why not?
Holy crap! Midnight Suns #1 came out this week. Written by Ethan Sachs,
yes,
I believe, with art by. Hang on, I don't actually have the credits page up, but I will in like literally a moment.
It's Luigi
Zagaria. Yeah, this is like one of those books that it's like
you made this because someone told you to make this.
Yeah, and that's fine because when are we ever going to get this book?
Right. Well, like
this is the right time for it. There's a game associated like with this name right now, even though the Midnight Suns title has existed far longer than this video game has.
Well, as evidenced by the cool logo.
Yeah.
That surrounds the number.
But I think isn't it usually SONS?
Yes.
Yeah, and so we're doing SUNS.
Yes.
Because of the video game. I believe the old one is SONS.
It is SONS. Yeah, absolutely.
But also it's we're coming into spooky season, so
sure.
It's like I don't really care necessarily what drives this book to exist. I'm just glad it does. I just like that these types of things exist. I do wish it was SONS.
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? Am I really complaining about that? I'm gonna call it Midnight Suns. You can't hear the U or the O.
No. So we get it. Yeah.
But basically it's like, hey, let's take a collection of characters who are mystically inclined and Wolverine and have a thing happen to them.
Sure.
They do kind of come together in a fun way, though.
Okay.
You know, like we start off in a different area. It's called Centerville. There's like a woman there. She practices witchcraft. She's being persecuted. She uses she's literally going to be shot. Like they're burning her books, but they're going to shoot her. I was like, okay, we're modernizing a witch hunt, I suppose. But she uses the vapors of Voltor.
Oh.
And that like kind of seemingly sets everything into motion. Now, if you're picking this up and are like, hey, there's a couple of characters in here in a setting that I'm not familiar with, it's because you might want to pick up Strange Academy if these are characters who have interest to you. Like if you're like, oh, who are these folk, right? Because like there's definitely a person on this cover. There's a couple of people on this cover, but there's definitely one person on this cover that you're like, might be like, I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Right.
And she is in the back.
She is in the back.
And we talked about this last week where we were like, who is that again?
And it's funny. You know why I didn't recognize her? Because this artist draws her older than I'm used to seeing. Because in Strange Academy, obviously the art style with Humberto Ramos, they look a lot younger. So my brain did not immediately go to this character at all. Because I was like, yeah, but she's young.
Right.
And I'm like, right, but she's also grown up. Like, you know. So she is basically the entire impetus behind all of this.
Okay.
Like we're going to take
she's the ride-along character
from kind of.
Oh.
Kind of and kind of not. So Zoe, I've been throwing off not wanting to say her last name.
Laveau. Yeah.
Laveau?
Well, it's the same. It's spelled almost exactly as
Laveau. So Laveau.
Yeah.
Zoe Laveau. She's a living zombie. All right, that's what we kind of need to go about her. She's got like her she's part of Strange Academy.
Yeah,
it's
I got
the whole thing. She's got a storied past with questionable relatives. So you could read all about that if you'd like in Strange Academy, or at least a little bit there.
Which you absolutely should, because Strange Academy is a good book.
Or we're gonna get some more here. I don't know, right? Anyway, it's a solid book though.
Yeah.
But that's where we are. That's why she's there.
Okay.
That's why we're in a school setting. That's why Nico Minoru and Magic are there. Yeah. And basically they have a guest speaker in their class today. It's Blade. Zoe is super excited because Blade has been an Avenger.
Yeah, that's true.
And she's like, that's what they're training us for, to be Avengers. And her girlfriend Desi is like,
no.
You know, the fact is, like, there's a really high likelihood that a lot of us here are going to end up being evil, just statistically speaking.
Right.
Like,
yeah, and
we're all not going to be heroes and Avengers.
The numbers are not good on the Avengers squad, like in terms of magic users. You know, it's Wanda, and thanks to Aaron, Blade. You know, and then there's like space magic. Like Mantis doesn't count, you know?
But like, so she's just excited for it. So they have like a demonstration with vampires. Like this is very much in keeping with Strange Academy. So I appreciate Sachs really kind of embracing the style of teaching that happens.
That's nice.
In the book.
Good. All right.
But Zoe has this like sudden like
premonition
or flash, or she sees this like horror nightmare of like these like shadowy figures attacking like people all over the place. Like a voice saying like, don't trust her, she's the bringer of ruin, right? She sees like Nico having like a meltdown, and like Blade and Wolverine like, you know, in like some horrible odds along with Magic. The Spirit Rider is there as well. And then like some like really scary monster is basically like, yo, this is your destiny.
I'm the main bad guy of the series.
Like, get with it, hun.
Okay.
And then she like wakes up and she's like, whoa, that was a crazy ass dream. And Desi's like, yeah,
you were standing there.
We all saw it.
Oh, that's fun.
And like all the students around her are like
it's your fault.
That's the only one that I'm kind of like not feeling, because a lot of the like characters there really would be like, well, I mean, we're in a magic school, that's gonna happen, but they immediately turn on her.
Oh, what the hell?
Like all this, like a lot of the faculty see it as well, obviously. And so they realize that there's a couple of players they need to get. So Magic immediately is like, hang on. She uses her like portals. She goes, she gets Wolverine. By the way, I appreciate, shout out, they put her in her new costume. Like this is the costume she got from New Mutants during her trip to Limbo.
Yeah.
So this is the new costume. So like they are like, hey, no, this is happening.
That's cool.
This is real.
Yeah, good for them.
So yeah, essentially like they grab Wolverine. Wolverine has like a total Batman moment where he's just like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
I hate dealing with magic.
Right. Okay.
He's like, fine. So he goes. We see around the world other magic users have also seen this vision, including you know, Clea, Dr. Doom.
And of course, new hotness, Agatha Harkness.
Agatha Harkness is like literally part of this.
She's
but she's
in
also a
this.
teacher.
Well, have you seen the promotional material they're gonna roll out with? Speaking of synergy, they're gonna unage her to be around the same age as her MCU counterpart, so she'll be sexy and fun. And
this is where I don't like the like that's a direct stupid influence.
Well,
not like a creator who's like, that's a fun idea, where can I take that in comics?
No, that is
this is just like
synergy.
Do the thing
and it really is because there's a show coming out that no one asked for.
Completely like bankrupt idea.
Yeah. Like, and by the way, incoming the comments about like, but she's so great. Like Catherine Hahn is awesome. Like,
I'm not saying
everyone loves Catherine Hahn. You're not going to watch a friggin' Agatha Harkness show.
I'm not saying I have no problem with that. Like, make that show.
But don't muck around in here.
Why does she need to be different in the comics? Like, if there's a really
people will be confused.
For the droves, listen.
The droves.
There are certain shows that do get people into stores, right?
Yeah. Like, I'll bet the Lord of the Rings show sold a bunch of copies of the Lord of the
Rings.
And
I happen to know, based on at least one reseller we talked to, that like they couldn't keep Preludes and Nocturnes on the shelf.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Like that's very different. I just don't know how many people are going to be like, give me
all the Agatha Harkness stories you have,
right?
Outside of speculators.
And you could, I mean, like, here's the thing. If you want her, though, and, like, what she's based on, you're going to have to read the other, like, issues where she looks different.
Right, where she's old and you can't, like, get hard to her. Like,
but, like, she's in this, right?
But she's in it right now. Right now, she's just Agatha Harkness.
The student body turns against Zoe immediately. Brother Voodoo and the others show up to be like, hey, we need you to come with us. We need to sort this out. Like, they're very cool.
Yeah.
Very chill about it. A student immediately pops in. Like, is like, I got her, rips her necklace off, which makes her
into a zombie.
Makes her look like, removes like the illusion that, like,
oh, it's an illusion.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when the big smoke monsters show up. There's a big crazy fight, and the Spirit Rider shows up as well. We see a big splash page of everybody coming together to fight. Agatha shows up to get her out of there because clearly that's what the zombies are there for. So I really kind of dig this effect. It's really dope. Where she uses like her shawl and then
and they disappear. Yeah, that's
Wolverine is able to smell that she's not on campus anywhere. And so they're like, all right, cool, we've got a mystery to solve. Like, Blade goes into like, let's check this out and like figure out what's going on. And then Nico's like, hey, did you guys all saw the vision? Like, I was in it, right?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, we all saw it. And she's like, hang on. And then like she uses these like fairies who are there to like do like an enhance moment, like enhance.
Right.
And what they see is like her watch says like the date.
So cool. They got a timetable now.
They have 4 days before the apocalypse comes. But hey, they got bigger things to worry about because Dr. Doom showed up as like, give me the girl.
Yay. I bet he goes away immediately after this.
I have no doubt. But it was still fun. I have no idea like how much this will or will not start like I doubt
it's a mini series that's going to be on the shelf.
How it's going to really tie into a video game necessarily, or if it's just
literally
an excuse to do a book like this, to get a bunch of magical characters together and throw Wolverine on the team, to synergize with the game, and also because Wolverine is a character that more people are familiar with, and so he's kind of like a life raft, especially the way he's acting towards everything, where he's just like,
this is weird, what's going on, explain yourselves.
Like, they're like, actually things are worse, and he's like, it always is with magic. Like, it's always, this is why no one likes you guys.
Right, exactly.
Like,
that's why you don't get invited.
So like, Wolverine's a really great sort of ambassador character. If you are a person who isn't as familiar with the magical side of the Marvel universe, you might dig this.
Yeah. Well, good for them. All right. Good for Midnight Suns. It's going to be I'm sure 6 issues. And
I can't remember how many it is.
The reality is it'll be on the shelf as a trade so that the throngs of people that go from the GameStop to the comic book stores will buy it.
Right. But like, I had fun with it, and I've got no ill will against it.
No,
like I said, I wish it was SONS, but like, whatever.
Right. It's a minor gripe out of all the gripes that you've got going on. Make sure to also talk about the book you have in physical right now.
Oh, sure. Real quick. This was also from 2 weeks ago. I totally forgot when I was talking about the other 2 weeks ago. I did read Dear Detective, the book like written by
Lieber Mayho.
Lieber Mayho. Okay, so here's what this is, and this is what I didn't quite understand when I picked it up. But like, again, I don't not like it. If you like Lieber Mayho's artwork and you just want to look at it, this is probably something you should go and grab, right? Because what it is, it's a cover art collection, but put together with like a bunch of like random little, like, not random, but like notes inside of it that like there's like, I don't know, let's say 5 or 6 of them in here, and like they craft like
Like a story
letter,
around
like
it?
a letter to Batman, right? From
Oh.
like his greatest nemesis.
Okay.
And so like all the covers within there are supposed to kind of punctuate what's in each of the letters, right?
Okay.
And there's like, you know, like coded letters in here. It's not like you're not gonna have to work really hard to figure out the answer at the end as to who's writing the letter. It's a little more esoteric. I immediately thought it was one thing. By the end of it, I was like, oh, okay, I see where we're going with this. It's cute. It's cute. It is cute. It's a cute idea. Like to take a bunch of like of an artist's covers, put them together and have him write like a little like
a through
thread,
line.
like,
yeah.
to connect them all. But like I said, you may not be in it for like the story necessarily, but like you're gonna get some really fantastic looking artwork in this, in an oversized like black label sized book, for like only $8. Like art is expensive. Typically, you're not gonna be able to take this out and put it on your wall, but it is something for people who just like looking at artwork. Or if you are an artist yourself and you want to study his work a little bit more, this is a great opportunity as well. But like, I enjoyed it nonetheless. I read all like 6 letters of it, and yeah, it's fun.
Cool.
So there it is.
Yay! And if you want something signed by him, I guess this is a fun,
Yeah, that's not
little, like, piece
not
that
a
you could
horrible
use.
thing to bring to him because like he completely created it all on his own.
Yeah.
So.
Let's break it up. Let's address some super chats in the room.
Let's do it.
Well, Brian Rowland says, "I'll be catching the rewatch. Can't wait for the Axe review. Loving this event. ComicPop rules. Thank you very much, Brian. Axe does rule." Tiffany, you want to humble brag a little bit, or shall I? The fact that Tiffany tweeted about this event because this is an event that nobody's reading, or maybe people are reading it, but no one's hyping it. Neither, especially Marvel.
Well, they did the thing. I got judged.
What?
There was like a GIF. They put out this thing where it was just like it was like a little mini video, right? And like they had a bunch of characters on the left side and then like a thumbs up, thumbs down on the right side, right? And like the idea was like what character was going to be judging you. Like it was really weird because it's not at all what's happening in the event where like really there's a Celestial. But I mean, I guess really what it is because like the Celestial comes to you if you fail as like a vision of someone who you would think would like judge you.
Yeah.
Or actually, if you also are okay, they'll also come like no matter what. Yeah. But like, so I guess what it's supposed to be is like who in the Marvel universe you would see as your judge.
Right.
I got Chewie.
Oh, okay, the cat.
And I passed.
Yay!
I was like,
that's a twofer. Now, that makes sense.
What I realized after I had tweeted it was I really should have changed that tweet to being like my years of like service to my cats finally pays off.
That's right. That's right. That should be a TikTok filter.
Well,
where you like, you hold it and it like just thumbs down, thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah,
Marvel should have made that.
Maybe they did.
No effort.
But
yeah. So you tweeted about it. You were just like, "Hey, this is a really great book. Issue 4 was awesome. Issue 5 comes out literally on Wednesday."
I know.
And both the artist and writer acknowledged it. Both Skeety and Gillen were like, "Thanks a lot."
And I was like, "Oh, thank you. Oh my god." Literally like that.
Lee Allen just finished collecting all of DeMatteis' Spectacular Spider-Man run. Flipping through it, looks even more sophisticated than Craven's Last Hunt. Marvel's insane for not collecting it. I agree. Marvel's nuts for not collecting all of the Buscema DeMatteis run on Spectacular. There's so many books that are available in some kind of like big, oversized thing, or at the very least just a collection. The Clone Saga is collected. And yet all of DeMatteis' books are relegated to the dollar bins, which, by the way, it's a great place to get it. Go pick them up if you haven't already. Frank says, gotta go catch the rewatch, but wanted to know your thoughts on Alex Ross's FF Full Circle. Loved everything about it. Hope to see it on back issue soon. Yeah, we will be doing it on back issue at some point. I did buy it. I did read it actually the other day, and I really enjoyed it. It was a fun book. It very much harkened back to like classic Lee, Kirby, Fantastic Four, all by Alex Ross, written and drawn. I get what they were doing with the colors. I wasn't a huge fan of the idea and the execution, but it was still fun and it felt like a classic book. There were no like the moments. It was consistently executed, but there were no like standout. Holy crap! Like we're gonna point at this every time we like feature the Fantastic Four, the way that Ross is known for.
Right.
There's a bunch of like random Alex Ross made productions out there from DC specifically that you'll see his art for all over the place. I don't know if you'll be seeing his Fantastic Four stuff anywhere.
Okay.
That being said, it is really well done, and I did enjoy it. Young Goku over 9,000. My birthday is tomorrow. Well, happy birthday,
Happy
Goku.
birthday!
Currently on a flight to Italia now. Well, see.
What a great! I hope it's for your birthday.
Yeah, I hope so. 3 volumes of Saga and Grayson to Kill. We'll be listening to back issues. Tiffany, we only find them when they're dead. Has been crazy lately. Are you still reading it? Thank you.
No,
you dropped that book, which is fair.
Not for any particular reason. I think I got a couple issues behind, and then the pile got scary.
It did. Yeah,
I fall victim to that just like anyone else, guys.
Yeah.
But I also want to be honest with you if I'm not reading something.
No, it's true. Well, and
and it's not like I'm like, oh, this is not good. I just,
No, and it's not like because we stopped reviewing, we only find them when they're dead. The channel tanked. Like, we'll be okay. One day you'll read the rest of it.
Yeah.
He also mentions that I'm also reading Magneto by Cullen Bunn. Really loving it so far. 40 more characters. Well, y'all are dope, and thank you. Well, thank you, man. And yeah, man, Magneto by Bunn is great. That's why I did the first volume, just to get people to like pick it up and check it out.
When you said Magneto by Bunn, my brain was like Magneto by night. He's also a werewolf.
That's right.
The master
of moonatism.
No, he can still be the master of magnetism.
Yeah, but he's a wolf. It looks like Spider-Man will be judged next issue, given how it's been treated lately. Not only will he fail, but the Celestial will kick him in the balls for good measure. Yeah, I have every expectation Spider-Man will fail. There's if Cap failed, Spider-Man will fail. It's in this for the same reasons.
Yeah.
My only major gripe, and I'm sure it'll not be justified in any way, when I do read the issue, is that Gwen is the Judger and not Uncle Ben.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not who it should be.
No. Spider-Man does not do things and think, oh man, Gwen would think I'm such an asshole right now.
I mean, Blue Spider-Man was a little different.
Book is almost 25 years
I'm just
old.
saying. No, I agree with you.
Like,
it should be Uncle Ben. Yeah. No, I agree with that. You think Aunt May will get judged in that too?
I doubt it.
The Celestial goes to her.
You think Mary Jane will be judged?
And she makes some wheat cakes.
And he's like, you gotta spare. You must share the recipe, and you will be judged. She's like, whack with a spoon. He's like, fair.
Yep.
Ray Farr says, ComicPop woo. Tiffany got me to pick up Sandman #1, the reprint.
Yay!
Also been liking the ComicPop Plays videos and all the shorts. Annoyed Ethan is my favorite.
Thank you.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty great.
Annoyed Ethan is spectacular.
I know.
Spectacular Ethan.
If you haven't already, by the way, you should check out the ComicPop Plays channel. It's going to be a place where you can we re-uploads of all of Tiffany's streams on twitch.tv/ComicPop. And as we go forward, we may just see maybe some simul-streaming between the two.
Yeah,
so you'll see some new stuff on there happening live as well.
Yeah.
Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. Axe keeps reminding me of my most rewatched back issue, the last Fantastic Four story. F4 tie-in even has the mindless ones. Coincidence for sure, but hilarious. I agree. Love that issue, and I really like that episode. I think it's a lot of fun. So check that out if you haven't already. Gianluca Zilio says, a miracle happened, made my mom watch season 1 of Sandman. She couldn't wait for season 2, so she borrowed my volumes and read it. I got emotional. That's dope.
This is the power of like shows. So like that's why like even if I'm like there are things that I nitpick about the show, that's why I don't really talk about it, because it's like it can be such a force of like actually bringing new readers in, and I'm just like, go do your thing.
I agree.
Behold.
Ray Farr returns to say, no disrespect to the designer. I like that caveat. But this Spider-Man suit is ugly. I adore J.R. Jr. Spidey and adore this Daredevil, but not even he can save this Spidey Goblin. No, I agree. I haven't even really like seen it much in action. Like I only really remember it from the covers. They're ugly. Yeah, it's an ugly suit. I don't care for it. He's one of the most iconic superheroes in all of fiction. He's one of the most iconic characters and YA characters in all of fiction. And his look is iconic and instantly recognizable. It's a mascot at this point. And so the first thing we should do is probably change it. I think that like that, like I've always talked about like people's like formula for getting into comics is like, I want to get into comics because I really want to make a TV show that I own. The new that for Spider-Man is I really want to make a costume that's going to be in the video game. Like Dan Slott has 4. How come I don't have one? And I think that's what it is. I really do think people are like motivated to have their costume, especially after the Miles Morales game where it's like he has 2. And so we had to invent like 17 of them.
They did a good job.
None of them were the new one they made for him in the comics.
Well, what's interesting about that though is like some of those are winners and some of them aren't, but like they're designing it for a 3-dimensional
space
in the first place.
Yeah,
So,
but it is also cool to see like a 2-dimensional costume in 3-dimensional space. Like finally seeing like the 2099 suit in 3D space is really awesome.
I get you.
Eric Wu says, had some free time 2 weeks ago. I added Smashtronaut and Sam into my collection. Guess ComicPop really is the best for recommending on both ends of the spectrum. I really like that, man.
Hooray!
Thank you so much. That's the thing, man. Like somebody mentioned, like when we recommend something, when we really do recommend something, more often than not, it's pretty good.
We try.
Right? Like I will not like bend over backwards to sell a book unless it's like of a special type of caliber.
Yeah.
Brady White, how is it going? It's going well, man. How about you?
Thank you.
I've been rereading Snyder Batman. It's great, but Court is kind of slog rereading. I like Knight a lot more. Also, I've been loving the Red Raider stuff. I hope y'all have been having a good day. You too, Brady. Thank you very much. Yeah, I didn't really like Night of the Owls. I did like Court more. To each his own. I'm glad you're digging the Red Raider show, though. Thank you so much. And if you want to know what he's talking about, join patreon.com/ComicPop. Join the Red Raider tier or higher, and you will have access to a behind-the-scenes podcast that's just my stream of consciousness talking about what's going on behind the scenes. Ray Farr, I'd super chat hundreds, but if I can make Ben breakdance, he can't breakdance, so don't try to make him do it.
Yeah,
because he'll try and then
he'll break himself.
Yes, it'll be a true breakdance. Cat Lawyer will defend for treats. I need that hat. Tiffany's hat game is greater than Feige's hat game. Tiffany has a great Feige-esque hat. It's a blue Marvel hat. You've seen it before. Not Blue Marvel, a character. It's a Marvel hat that is blue instead of red.
Yeah.
And it's great. And it looks like a Feige hat. Like, I don't know where we got that.
Listen, if he wants to come and have a hat off, we can absolutely do it.
We will do it.
I'm there for it.
Mr. Ketch, hey Sal and Tiffany, hope you're doing awesome. Hopefully you are too,
Thank
man.
You.
I haven't been reading Spider-Man, but picked up 9 as an X-Men crossover. Why does Peter have a literal spider grenades? That's part of his new suit. It was designed by Norman Osborn, so it's like a Goblin Spider-Man's like hodgepodge or synergy thing going on.
It's a hodgepodge.
Yeah,
that's another villain for Spider-Man. Hodgepodge.
Juwan Fincher. I have this weird. What if Cyclops and female Wolverine started going out back from when the original 5 came into the future? Maybe it would be a good Valentine's Day. What if? Yeah, why not? And people want to see that. I mean, listen, the only thing I don't want to see is Laura get together with Scott because Laura deserves better. Mr. Ketch returns to say, I am 100% on board and excited for Agatha show. You can blame me because I definitely asked for it. Well, I'm glad, man.
Listen, let the show be. Go for it.
Yeah,
it's just weird that they're like, and now make her that in the comics.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. But yeah.
I guess they're like, who cares about her in the comics?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's like, but then who cares? Then don't screw with it. And it's like, no, but who cares? But we should screw with it. It's like, I can't argue with either of those things. Ray Farr, what are some of the least favorite synergistic moments in comics? Joker with facial scars and Loki just being drawn with his 2012 Avengers suit are mine. Yeah, those scars, man, they really they disappeared, didn't they? You saw them a lot. They were in friggin' Zero, or the flashbacks from Death of the Family. Like the New 52 Joker always had like the as I've heard it referred to, the Glasgow smile. It was a part of all of Liebermejo's designs of Batman, which he swears up and down he did first. And so forth. I could get on board for that. Honestly, I was a big problem. I had a big issue with like the organic web shooters.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That was something I really complained about. And I think we're caught up. So let's move on. Tiffany, you want to talk about X-Men Red or you want to talk about another book? We got plenty more.
Well, do you got anything?
Yeah, I've got plenty. I could talk about Daredevil #3 from Chip Zdarsky and Rafael de la Torre. This, of course, is the 3rd installment of the rebooted Daredevil series. If you are reading Daredevil or you haven't started reading Daredevil, what you should know is that this is a continuation from Daredevil #1 from like last year, and you should not feel like there's any interruption of service. If you didn't read Devil's Reign, it is just more Daredevil in between. But everything by Zdarsky, just read it in order and you'll be fine. It's a great ongoing series that thankfully doesn't sell great. So it sells just enough to stay the hell off of Marvel's radar. Look at that cover.
I love this cover.
Isn't it incredible? Chichetto is a master.
So freaking much. I'm not even reading this book, and I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Give me a titleless version of this, and I will hang it up.
Well, hopefully Chichetto will have it at New York Comic Con.
Oh, is he going?
I have a list. I have a list of who's going to New York Comic Con. And let me tell you, I am hyped because a few notable people are going to be there. But let me wrap up. This is a great issue, as usual. The only critique I will have is Daredevil's supposed to leave. He's leaving to like form the Fist, which will fight the Hand with Elektra. And I love that like they made Elektra Daredevil, and then like both Daredevils are going to leave New York. And I'm like, so you have two Daredevils, and they're both leaving. He's recruiting more or less, and he asked Cole, that really cool character that Zdarsky introduced in the beginning of his run, like, come with me. And he's like, no, but he's definitely going to come. He also tried to recruit Luke Cage, and Luke Cage's like, get the fuck out of here.
I'm the mayor.
I'm the mayor now. He's like, yeah, but who cares? You don't really want to be mayor. And he's like, yes, I do.
I worked really hard.
Yeah, exactly. So he's not going, and he's going to take Foggy with him.
Okay.
It's cool. It's a good series. Matt is just a big idiot, and I can't wait to see him screw the hell up. I'm also really disappointed because in an anticlimactic way, Matt found out who's in charge of the hand. And I'm like, damn it. I wanted to see a bigger moment. I wanted to see him discover that.
Okay.
I didn't want some retconned Elektra mentor to tell him while she was like hitting him in crucial pressure points. I wanted him to like hear his heartbeat and go, oh no, that's what I wanted. But then again, I'm not writing the book, so I'll just read it, and it's really good. So check that out if you haven't already. Hogshead says, Daredevil being judged, meh, I'm hard on myself. No. Daredevil being judged is awesome, and it was a great moment.
Yeah.
Every judgment moment was dope.
It was.
And now we'll talk about who's going to be at New York Comic Con because it's so exciting.
Oh my God.
Elvira's going to be there.
Okay.
No, you have to meet her. We're going to get a picture of you with Elvira. It's Cassandra Peterson. She's not going to, I don't think she's going to be dressed as Elvira.
That's fine.
You know. James Howe will be there.
Oh.
The writer of the Benicula series.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll get your Celery Stalks of Midnight book
care.
signed. Now, Dan Mora, Doc Shaner, Donnie Cates, Jerry Duggan, Jed McKay will be there. Of course, Jim Shooter, which I can't wait for.
Dan Mora is going to be there.
I know. It's going to be very exciting.
You're going to have to do the talking for me.
Jim Zub Jock will return as well.
Yeah, I met him.
John Romita Jr. is going to be there. Jock is such a lovely English gentleman.
Jock is a charming man. Just a charming man.
That's true. Jonathan Hickman will be there, of course. Jorge Fornes from Batman 89, and more importantly, Rorschach will be there.
It's gonna be Rorschach.
It's gonna be Rorschach. Joshua Williamson, Mariko Tamaki, Peach Momoko will be there. I know. Rod Rice.
Oh, that's dope.
I know. Stegman, Snyder, King, and Zeb Wells will be there, so we'll get your copy of Hellion signed.
Yay!
And many more. Over 100 more. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I read this. I guess we could talk about it. Batman and Robin #1.
Nice.
From Mark Waid and Mahmoud Asrar.
No way! What?
Yep, it's a miniseries event story, blah, blah, blah. You might like this. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
On paper, this is awesome. Because, basically Robin declares war on Batman. He's like, you're sucking. You never accepted me. It's because I think, Robin and Batman had a back and forth that earlier where Robin's like, you blame me for Alfred's death, and he's like, yeah. Yeah, I hate you. And Alfred's back.
What?
Alfred returns in this issue.
What?
He just comes back.
What? Is this set now?
Yeah, this is happening now.
Is he real?
He's real. He goes through a battery of tests. Alfred suggests all the tests. He's like, we can go to the cave and use that, blah, blah, blah. He asks Alfred a million questions. Now it's him. Because it would make sense to get that mistake fixed.
No, they're just gonna be like, oh, actually, it's this
well,
thing.
You'll see why it's definitely him at least. Because Robin hits him with two friends who are wielding magic powers. Magic is some magical character is aiding Damian in his war against Batman. And before they helped Batman, they declared war on the Justice League Dark. And so all of the Justice League Dark is defeated. John Constantine himself is tied in to Swamp Thing in a kind of curse that causes vines to grow out of their organs. And so they're both just trapped. Etrigan is trapped in a half transformation. So it's Etrigan blood and he's just screaming. Z is caught in Schrodinger's noose. And so she is half dead and half alive.
This one magic character had this much ability.
Somebody. No, it's Damian. Damian is awesome. Damian's the one who did it. No. Damian is definitely being manipulated by outside forces. And is it handed every single... he's given Eclipso's diamond, the bell to wheel the jar, all this stuff. And it's just insane how much power Damian wields. Yeah, and Batman and Alfred are just have to team up to fight Damian.
I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah, well, you read it because, Damian is written like a person who's never read a comic book starring Damian ever. Mark Waid is, to his credit, Mark Waid's great, and I really enjoy his work. His World's Finest book is toppers, but I think Mark Waid is in my camp where he's like, I don't like Damian. I don't appreciate Damian. I think he's an affront on the Bat family.
Well, listen,
and he should be going away. But he's never read like Williamson's book or
right.
Like, he's never read anything of Damian's redemption.
Here's the thing about that: no matter how anyone feels about Damian, it's too late for something like that because like he's too
ingrained.
And like there's too many stories to be like this is what his character is and like this is what he's like to just be like nah. I mean, like maybe this is gonna turn around at the end.
I think that it's like a double cross. I think it's a fake out. Like I don't think Damian is just
maybe Alfred is the wizard behind it.
I hope not.
Alfred is a secret magic user.
No,
wizard man.
It's Nezha. It's the devil Nezha from the World's Finest series that Waid invented, who's manipulating Damian.
Okay.
So yeah, whatever. It's fun.
Alfred's the secret. Let me have the Alfred's the secret wizard thing.
Sure, yeah, but the book's fine. Like but everyone's written kind of out of character, except for Alfred and Batman. Although someone took the page out of context and posted it on Reddit and was like, "How dare you?" Because like Batman referred to Alfred as like when he saw Alfred, he was like, "It's good to have you back, old friend." And they're like, "How dare you? He's his father. He would never say old friend." Earlier in the book, he says Alfred is like my father and my oldest friend. Like, so it's like it's established.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, I could see Batman calling Alfred old friend.
Old chum.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fine. It's not blowing my mind. The logo is horrible. Like the title is like
not a fan.
Like, what are you doing?
This one's kind of weak.
It's not great.
Weak sauce.
But otherwise, I think that it's important. I think like the story is going to be like used, despite the fact that like Al Ghul's, we just did Shadow War. Damian, we just did the Robin series. Batman, isn't he dead? There's a lot going on. The Justice League Z, isn't she dead too? Like, when does this take place? Who cares? Nobody. That's who. Least of all DC. But I enjoyed it for the most part. I liked Alfred being back.
I liked the art.
It's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, there were a couple of a couple of standout moments, but otherwise it was fine.
I mean, like Asrar's work in Conan is great.
Oh yeah,
but like it's a very different world he's playing with, so I'm kind of interested in checking that out, if nothing else, just to see what he does with. I mean, he's not ever worked on other things, but like that's just the last thing I saw him in, so
exactly.
Yeah,
no, but it's it's fine, but like
right.
I wonder if it'll be important. I don't know. Like
okay,
but we'll see how it goes. It'll be a thing, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
All right. I got a couple of books, but I think you're going to go into a super chat here.
I am. Ray Farr says, "Are you guys at all excited for the Sergeant Rock book coming out that's written by Bruce Campbell?" I'm biased though, so I like everything that man does. No, I couldn't be.
You're not going to check it out at all.
No, I couldn't care less.
Is it because of the character, or because you're just like?
I don't care about Sergeant Rock, and I don't like the idea of just giving actors jobs because they have another job that they do well.
All right, maybe he's a big Sergeant Rock fan. That's
good for him. Doesn't make him a writer.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone has a story. There's something in my eye. I think it's my mascara. That's fine. I'm going to talk about another book, though.
Oh, please do.
Let's talk about The Bone Orchard.
The Bone Orchard. Would you like to ride The Bone Orchard?
So here's what's interesting. The Bone Orchard is a series of books by Jeff Lemire, and I'm not sure if the artist is always the same, but it's Andrea Sorrentino, right? And like the Bone Orchard mythos is a like bunch of like horror stories that take place in the same universe. Right? Like that's kind of cool. Like it's like a shared horror universe.
Yeah, okay.
I haven't read the other one, but I picked this up because I just loved the premise of this. So I was like, I got to pick this out. So this one's 10,000 Black Feathers.
Ooh.
Which
well, the cover is amazing.
The cover immediately like grabbed me and was just like shoved it in my face and yelled, "Read me."
Yes.
And I was like, okay. So yeah, it's by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. The colorist is Dave Stewart, does a great job. And like
fantastic combo.
I gotta tell you guys, if you are like, as it becomes fall, as the days grow shorter, at least for us in the Northern Hemisphere, I immediately like, listen, I'm down for horror all year round, but in particular now, like I get more into it where I'm just like, ooh, I'm ready for some scary, some spooky,
some spooks,
some skeletons. There are no skeletons in this book, unfortunately.
Oh, well, on the cover there's a skull at least.
Yeah, there's just not enough skeletons. Meh. Anyway, it's a really like interesting premise about like two friends. We get to see like they're like meeting each other, getting to know one another, and then like the current state of things.
Yeah.
Where there's this woman who she's an author, and there's like these dreams / voice that's haunting her.
Okay.
And so she kind of goes home for a little bit. Presumably, we find out that like her friend is dead. But like goes back home to her friend's mom's house. I personally had a little bit of a connection with this, like, you know, like the idea of like meeting a friend, like being kind of like not necessarily new, but like having that moment of like not knowing anybody, meeting a friend, going to the mom's house. The mom's a single mom.
Yeah.
Like, you know, has like a like their own like, you know, life outside of the home, and just kind of like delving into like new things, like going and like playing video games, or like like, you know, that kind of stuff. Like I was like, that like connected with me.
Fair.
So maybe I'm a little biased, but I thought this was really well written. Lemire is a hit or miss with me sometimes, honestly. Like I'm
Very
not like
much so.
a hardcore like, ooh, I love Lemire. Some books really connect with me,
Yeah.
and other books not
just
so
bounce
much.
right off of you.
Yeah. But the writing in this, the way in which Lemire is like unfolding the story, really connected with me. Like enough of like a like human connection, you know, learning little bits without like having an exposition character necessarily, like, you know, peeking into their lives, and then also like weaving in this like something is wrong,
right,
and you're in for it kind of thing. And then of course, like throughout the book, like here's the thing about Sorrentino's art. Like when it's dark and gritty, it's great. When it's like lighter, like it misses the shadows, and I think it's not quite as strong.
Yeah, I see
but
what
like,
you mean.
But like we get a lot of like really standard panel work in here. So like if you're like used to seeing Sorrentino's art, usually there are some panels that are like, or some pages that are like, whoa, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
That's fair.
By the time you get to the last 2 pages, we see like we were holding it back.
We're back.
We were holding it back,
Oh,
and then
good.
like we reveal these like 2 really spectacular, or actually several spectacular pages. I love the last panel of this book, because I think this is pretty daring to end it like this, where it's like there's like something a reveal, like there's something off panel. It is such a like great horror moment.
I love it.
That I now have to wait
to
find out like what's coming for them.
And that's tough with horror, because like not everyone is used to like having to sit there and you'll have to wait.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, how long is it going to take? Like a month? Like that's a long time.
Right. But like I love that. I was like, wow, it could be nothing scary.
Oh yeah,
or it could be something very scary, but it gives me like plenty of time to question like, you know, what it is, and like let that horror like build in my own mind before it is revealed, presumably.
Right.
But if you're looking for something kind of spooky, check this out. I think it's a really cool idea. I think I'm gonna go back and grab the other book that's in this. I can't remember what it's called. In the Bone Orchard mythos, because I think it's kind of neat, the idea of a shared universe horror world, you know, where like these things are happening, presumably or possibly connected to one another. So
I agree.
Yeah,
I like that. The Fodder Box Kid. Hey guys, any chance of Tiffany doing Once and Future on Back Issues? It's one of my favorite comics at the moment. We do have the trade, but I don't see it happening, only because I don't think that it would appeal to the widest spectrum of audience members. It's why we haven't done Saga in 5 or 6 years. It's why we don't typically do too many indie books, unless that independent character happens to have like a form-fitting, you know, jumpsuit or a you know, or a cape. You know, it's tough to pull off. And Once in Future, it's a tougher like sell. You know, sometimes it's hard to get people to read or to watch an episode about Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, it's true.
You know, but that doesn't mean the book is in any, you know, is in any way lesser than those books. It's just it's just a shame.
No, for sure.
But yeah, and it's just because we're dependent on that show, because it's like the most popular show. But yeah,
absolutely. Are you gonna do one more?
Why not?
X-Men Red came out this week.
Yes, it did.
I thought I saw a question in the chat at one point about what was my favorite X title right now, and like it's really hard because like it's kind of a toss up between Immortal X-Men and X-Men Red.
Yeah.
Which I'll go on record. I said it before. Like X-Men Red, when it first rolled out, the first couple of issues,
you were not sold.
Was not sold. I was not feeling that book at all. I was kind of like, I might drop this book. I don't know. I like Al Ewing's work, but this wasn't connecting with me.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I stuck it out.
Yeah.
Like, typically that's not my message, because like I want you to like always take care of like your wallet and your needs first. And so if you're not connecting with the book, it's okay to stop. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it one more. And like that one more was a literal make or break moment for me. Oh my gosh. Sorry, my phone someone keeps calling me.
Is it someone that you actually need to take a call from? Or
no,
is it... okay.
no. I don't think so, at least. Maybe. It could have been, but it's written by Al Ewing with art by Stefano Caselli.
Yes.
Looks great. This is like Al Ewing, at least in an interview I read with Kieran Gillen. Al Ewing was one of the people who was like, all right, we're doing tie-ins. It's a Judgment Day tie-in. This is what I want. I will absolutely, I'm on board. Let's do this. I'm gonna play baseball with you. Can you do one thing for me? Can you just make sure that Uranus is like armies and like his like armory, the things from his armory stay on Arakko so I can deal with that.
Oh.
And like Gillen was like,
sure,
can do.
He judged and gave him a thumbs up.
Yes.
Nice.
But that's what we're dealing with essentially.
Okay.
Magneto is heartless now.
Literally
heartless. He's got a big hole in his chest. The only thing that's keeping him alive is his own master of magnetism. He mentions in this that he's like, a younger version of me could not have done this.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's only like me now, with all of my awesomeness that I can possibly do this.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's dealing with that, but like the opening to this book is like really, like I was like really like invested in the story of this character who is not a mutant, not of Arakko, like just this guy.
Oh, is the guy?
NASA. The NASA guy, like. No,
I thought you were talking about the Fisher King. I was like,
no, the Fisher King isn't this though.
Oh, good.
No, this dude, I was so invested in his story, and like that's just a testament to Ewing's writing. We just met this character, we get to know him. That like he's essentially like he came out there to study the soil of Arakko and like to see like what the terraforming did. Like he was allowed to go there, and like he was
annihilated.
No, he's there, and he was like he like saw the like Arakko societies, and like he ended up like being welcomed by them because he wasn't an enemy. He's like, that's the problem. He's like, everybody thinks that they're like assholes because
they're war
if you come and fight them, then they will fight back. But like if you're not there for that, then they welcome you as friend.
Yeah. Okay.
So he joins their society, and at one point, like there's like one of those information pages. Read it. Trust me, read this transcript. It's great. There's like a child's voice there because like he says like he helped with like the harvest, and they're like, insult Craig of NASA. And he's like, sorry, helping means that they are not capable of doing it. So, and he's like trying to adjust like to like,
he's learning their language or the
way
that
their way of
their
life.
syntax. Yeah.
But that essentially like, the shit hit the fan.
Right.
And like the village there went to fight, and they left him with the children who don't have their powers yet to basically, they're like, protect them. Yeah. And he's like, okay. And he's like, they're all dead. So like he like has a camera basically, and he's like, I'm gonna show you what we're fighting here. I have nothing. I have no powers. I have no weapons, but like I'm hopeful that I can buy the kids enough time to get out of here. And like it's like I'm like, oh, like
you don't have a backup, man.
I was but he was like, no, it's okay. Like, and like they're really sad because like they're talking to like, here's Ewing like taking a tie-in and making sure to like kind of continue the story, because like earlier in this book we were talking a little more about Tarn. Yes. And like Tarn's crimes against Arakko. Right. To begin with, we're building a little more of that history in here. Okay. With this like doing this tie-in. So it's like, hi, this will totally fit in. Yeah. It'll randomly like the things are occurring, but like it's going to not feel like a hard stop on the story that Ewing's doing, right? Yeah. Because the kids are talking about the prisons they were in, and that's like as a result of all of that, like when they were younger. Yeah. And so he's like, you have to survive. They're like the prisons. He's like, yeah, like because like they feel badly. They're like, you shouldn't have to go and fight alone. No one is alone on Arakko. Yeah. And like
those kids probably help them out a lot because they're of Arakko.
Yeah, but they have no powers yet. They're not old enough for their
powers.
Their
powers, you know.
So like, so he's like, no, like he's like, oh, it's so sweet. He goes like, trust me, I know, like when they're like, you know, you're just an Earthman. Yeah. Like you shouldn't have to fight for us alone. He's like, I came here to look at some dirt. But you folk treated me like I belonged from day one. So yeah, I guess I'm a Arakko today. Yeah. And then he hears his voice behind him. And that's like, you know, it's like the truth is spoken, like you are of the land and you will forever be that way. And it's just Storm and like two of the other people from the circle, like floating up behind him. And she looks baller.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that the same outfit she wears in Axe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet outfit.
She's had this outfit in this.
All right.
In this series so far, so
Good,
I
good.
love it. I love this so much.
Yeah.
And he's like,
oh,
okay,
thank you.
God.
Thank you. I could not back that up. I'm sorry.
I mean, I was going to do it, but I was like, I was not going to buy them anytime. What? Like, there's a big laser spider coming. Basically,
Right.
it's like a big
okay.
machine thing that's got like 4 laser,
One of Uranus's
like,
machines.
not 4, like 8 laser legs shooting out of it. And it's
Yeah.
just destroying things as it's moving,
Oh my
basically, because
God.
it's got laser legs.
Uh-huh.
So like, Storm, like, no one fights alone, but Storm's like, can I take the lead on this one?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Knock yourself out.
Folks. So she's there with Laktuka of the Stars, who's the one that looks like a big
Oh my God. She looks like the universe is draped over like a handkerchief.
yeah.
That's awesome.
And Subnar,
Mhm.
Subunar of the Depths, who has
I know that.
Yeah, you know him, but like he has like
Aw.
a similar look, like stance to Namor. I'm like, if you're of the sea, is that just how you are?
Oh yeah. Well, you have you're lighter and
You're just like,
you have like
behold,
you have a
it's
regality
me.
about you.
Here's the reason I want to mention that, because like the two of them work together. Like
Yeah.
Subunar like has like the endless ocean within him,
Mhm.
and so he like
Yes.
provides water into the air.
No.
And so what? No, nothing bad happens.
Okay.
No, Storm uses it to make a monsoon, because like all the water droplets basically screw up the laser, so the lasers like become less potent until they're able to destroy the beam.
Okay.
It's like really
all right.
smart. It's like, I was like,
Nice.
wow, nice job, Ewing.
Yeah.
Laktuka uses their abilities to connect Storm with everything that's going on around Arakko, because she's like, where do I need to be? Because like she's like, I wasn't here, and again this happened. Like she was off doing something as equal importance, but she's like, but because I wasn't here, I didn't serve Arakko. And like that's when Subunar, I think it's here, mentions like there's like an old proverb from like the prisons, like where it's like, if you weren't here, then you were somewhere. And like
Fair.
the idea is that
like you would want to be here, and if you weren't here, there's a damn good reason for it.
Yeah, exactly. And so like she connects them, and that's how we like do like a quick check-in with everybody around Arakko. Ewing's like, all right, what are they all up to? Like Richard Rider's still there, and like she's in his head, and like hearing it, like how he's like, it's all about me. The Fisher King's like, cool, okay. He gets called by someone basically, and like it's time for something. You're like, what's the time for, right?
Yeah.
Iska's in the ocean fighting fish, because Iska has joined Uranus, obviously,
Of course.
because she cannot be beaten.
She's gonna have a lot of explaining to do.
Well, no, she doesn't.
Oh, that's right.
She's like, that's just her power.
Yeah.
It's fine. The point is to get her back on your side, because that means you will win.
Right.
Wrong Slide is there as well.
Oh no.
He's joined the Brotherhood, so he's like fighting like at 209.
Yeah, whatever.
We just check in with a bunch of them, and it's cool. We see that up in Sword Station 2, Cable is there, and like the place is destroyed. He's like floating in a spacesuit with WizKid, and like WizKid was saved by Cable, and Cable essentially is like, it's time for me to call in a favor. Tell me about Brand. Ewing set that up in Sword, right? So it's like, okay,
now we know. Now that's
Abigail Brand is being reborn, and who's there to greet her? Professor
Xavier.
X. And by the way, Xavier, is like fighting a fight. So he comes to do this one. I'm like, I buy that. I don't think that that's a not synergistic thing.
No,
I think that's like, he's
they're gonna have a conversation. Yeah.
I'm wondering.
That's awesome.
Like,
well, he would know. How would he not know what's going on?
I don't know. Right? Like, what is he going to tell her? Like, give her back and not give her back.
Ooh.
Right? Like, I don't know if they're gonna play with that or not, but I love
him being there is enough to tell you that they're definitely gonna do.
There's a question in the chat. Is it Young Cable?
No,
he's gone.
Yeah, he's long gone. It's Big Cable now.
Yeah, Lodos, who has the ability to like just produce metal, is there with Magneto, who's fighting a big plastic gorilla. For a second, I was like, no, wait, it's okay. It's not connected.
Good.
Not Red Ghost connected. Magneto like essentially recognizes that he's not going to make it till tomorrow. Like, but like he needs to save Arakko. Like that's all he can think about. He's like, I have to save Arakko, and then I can rest, and it'll be totally fine. And that's when Roberto shows up with like some like super hot chick and the Fisher King.
Is that his? No, it's not. Okay.
And it's revealed that like Roberto had found out about like this other ring that, or like other part of the ring of like Arakko that used to exist, because they only have 3 areas. You know how like Krakoa has like spring, summer, fall, and winter?
Yeah.
They only have 3.
Oh.
It's like whatever happened to the 4th.
Right.
We got a whole info dump about that there was like the Dawn, the dawn, the day, and the dusk, right?
Okay.
And it's like what happened to the night.
Right.
The night was like the shadowy kind of version that like would often be like spies and other such things, but like Genesis was like, that's not how we roll.
Yeah.
And so they got rid of it, and because of that, they ended up actually falling at one point. As the fall of Araco originally was because they lost the Seats of Night.
Okay.
So like basically Roberto's bringing that back.
Okay. Cool.
And so this chick's ability is that she can become smoke and like transport other places and like bring people with her as well.
Right.
And Magneto literally is like, we need to get you to meet Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
He like makes a little joke. I'm like, good for you. You're dying. That's fine.
Yeah.
But that, you know, they're going to work together to reform the Seats of Night, and like that's how they're going to be able to win.
Okay.
Right. And like, remember the bug lady
Mm-hmm.
who like held all of the like history of Araco?
Yeah.
She's growing back, but like things are missing now. So like, but they're recording it again, right?
Okay.
So like, Logos is like, mark this moment, like this is like a change in like
in
the
everything.
way we're doing things.
Yeah.
So like here we go. Let's have at it.
Mm-hmm.
The gorilla comes back, and that's when they realize across like the world that like all of Uranus's things can regrow. So like they can't really defeat them. There has to be a way, something at the heart that they can stop, right? Like they have to basically go to the armory or fight Uranus, right?
Okay.
So like Magneto's like, I'm never gonna be done. Like why would I think that? And that's when Storm shows up, and she feeds him her lightning.
Right.
So she's like, there's something about Wolverine, or not Wolverine. There's something about Magneto that like I always pair Storm and Wolverine. That's like that's like a ship for me. But then again, this whole thing that happens in this was beautiful and poetic, and I loved it. That like he's basically like her gift attunes to his.
Right.
And so she gives him his power. She's like, you know, in the past, like he empowered himself at the expense of her own life.
Yeah.
But this time, like they're able to like manage it. Like, so like he takes it freely, this gift. And like, she's like literally shooting lightning into like where his heart would be.
Yeah.
To like superpower him and keep him alive. And like everyone's watching it. And like the people of Araco are very much, this is not the way it should be, but we're breaking all the rules, and look at what happens when like someone accepts help.
Yes.
And like it accepts
or
like
whatever word we're going to use here.
Yeah, assistance.
Yeah.
The way in which the two of them like embrace and share like for Araco is like the embrace of lovers, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting pairing. Right?
Yeah.
Like
I never thought about it.
That's interesting. And then she's like behind him, she's like holding him, and she's like, you ready? And he's like, oh yes. They decimate this gorilla. And then are like, all right, so it's time to go fight Uranus.
Yeah, let's get into the next issue. Right?
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I read these in order. I was like, I'm gonna read X-Men Red first. I have a feeling, and when I looked at the credits page, I was like, yes, this comes split before X 4. But seriously, if you're not reading X-Men Red, the first few issues to me set up so much stuff that like it felt like it was going to be kind of a drag.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with setup, but there was just something about it that like tonally shifted. And I think the like third issue on is really what the tone of X-Men Red will be. And Ewing's just doing such a good job. And like, if you're not reading it because maybe you like felt like the first issue wasn't something you were interested in, go back, go grab the rest of them. Trust me, it is great looking. Castelli's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And it's just smart. And if you like Magneto,
then
this is the book for you, because like Magneto gets to be a baller. So same with Storm.
Oh yeah.
Like this really, like there are other characters in this book.
Oh yeah.
But
this
really
is their book.
But it's really about Storm and Magneto.
Of
and
course.
I'm like, yes.
What was it? Drew Deer says, if you had to give out a most improved award to a recent creator, who would you choose? Maybe someone whose style you weren't into before, but now you enjoy. Right? Because that's tougher for me. I don't know if there's any like, I don't know. Just trying to think of like books that I like whose art I didn't really care for.
They say creator could also be a writer.
Could be a writer, yeah, it's true. Yeah, maybe Jed McKay. I wasn't like thrilled with. No, I liked his works earlier on. Yeah.
I was gonna say Tom King, but
right, Tom King. Well, like, yeah, I turned around on him certainly.
Yeah, But I don't know if it's an improvement. I don't know.
No,
That's
not an
that's an
improvement.
excellent question, and
Right?
I wish I had an answer for you right now. But
Yeah,
if I
I'm
come up with
sorry.
one, we'll definitely
We'll have to revisit it.
Yeah, because it's a great question.
It is a really good question. Cat Lawyer, do we know what the criteria for judgment is? Is it personal goals? And if they achieve them, Cap has impossible goals, but Scott can he can protect the mutants. So there you go. Yeah, what is have they like revealed what it is, or are we kind of just like
I think we're meant
figure
to
it
try
out?
to figure it out based on what occurs. I think it's a series of how truthful you are kind of with yourself, and
Yeah.
also like part of it is like whether or not you think you've achieved your own goals, and part of it is like you actually try to fix something, because there is that conversation. Don't forget, there's literally a conversation in you may not have read it, but in AXE Death to Mutants
No, yeah, I didn't
number
read it.
2, where Wolverine, or not Wolverine. Oh my gosh, what is my obsession with Wolverine today?
Yeah.
I'm like obsessed with Wolverine.
Yeah.
Where Phastos and Makari are judged.
Right.
And Phastos is like, they're asked by the Celestial, Ajax, Makari and Phastos are asked, would they have built him if they knew how this was going to turn out? Like, would they do it again?
Yeah.
Ajax is like, yes. Makari
Right.
and
Yeah, I remember
Phastos
that.
are like, no. And Phastos gets the thumbs up and she gets the thumbs down.
Yes.
And Phastos is like, okay, but why?
Right.
And he's like, because you took steps to fix it. And
Right.
she didn't.
Yeah.
So there could be something there as well, like that you take even if you don't succeed in what you're doing, that you tried other methods to make it happen. So maybe Cap is like too busy beating his head against the wall without actually like doing any like enough to make the change.
I think it's because his goal is to inspire America, and he's not able to do that.
Can't do that. Yeah.
And that could be why they didn't choose like Uncle Ben for Spider-Man, because like every day he puts on the suit, he is trying to make up for what happened with Uncle Ben. So that would be the work. But like with Gwen, it's more like you have.
It's supposed to but it really is just supposed to be someone who you would like
feel the judgment
by.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would.
I think it's also honestly that it is just a flawed being. So don't try to like take too much logic out of it, because admittedly speaking, it is a man-made god.
Exactly.
And so it doesn't follow standard godlike rules, or like, so it is a fallible god.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Ray Farr, I asked last week if great art can redeem a bad story, and I said it can't. Then you do a back issues on McFarlane Spidey. I changed my opinion. Fair enough. Yeah, that was not great. I'll tell you that. So yeah, really quick, like kind of shout out, I guess, is to a couple of books that I like appreciate and enjoy, but I don't want to get into too much. For example, Danny Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer's Duo Powerbomb #4 came out last week, or this past week, and it's it continues to be great. I'm still not like a huge wrestling fan, so I'm not like yes, but the art in this, you can tell he like is pushing it, like he is doing something more than he had before. Like you compare this to Beta Ray Bill, like there are bigger swings in this than in Bill. So if you want to see like Daniel Warren Johnson like swing harder, it's in this. Like this is a book where it's you could remove all the dialogue. I mean, you really couldn't, because like it's actually really important to know who these people are and what they're interacting about. But if you just wanted to like pour over art and see like exaggerated forms react to each other physically, like that's the book. It's just a really bright, good-looking comic book.
Could it also be not just that as the judgment, but also like what you would truly judge yourself to be?
I think that's what it is. I think it's your own
might be
judgment.
A little comment, like a little combo of both.
Yeah, I mean, I think it mostly is just like, do you? Yeah,
there are quite a few characters who are judged who like clearly would judge themselves harshly.
No, yeah, Captain America's like I failed, so it's like, yeah, you failed. Spider-Man is always failing. Yeah, you fail. Doom is like, no, I'm never wrong, and they're like, okay. Yeah, no, it's
correct.
Yeah, Cyclops 100% does not regret any decision ever made.
It's true.
Like, so there you go. Daredevil constantly questions himself and is always like, he is a hypocrite.
Yeah.
But he also feels bad about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop himself, but he is one. And like, that's that. The True Believer says, who would you want for Avengers after Aaron? Anybody else would be a nice break.
Yeah.
As far as people who are working right now, I mean, like, Zdarsky would be fun, but like I don't want to see him leave Daredevil. I also don't want to like see him stretch too thinly. He's doing Batman and he's doing Daredevil, and he's good. You know, just keep it up. You know, I think Cates would have fun with it, but like, you know, it's a high profile name. Like clearly Marvel is interested in only giving these books to big creators.
Hear me out. Take Wells off of Spider-Man and put him on Avengers.
No.
Why?
Because he'd make the Avengers into the Hellions, and I don't want to see that.
I do want to see that. Maybe there's a book for the rest of us out there then.
Yeah, maybe he could do another book like Dark Avengers, and it's about his like it's about these miserable pieces of shit.
They're not miserable. There's just one person who's miserable.
That's true.
I just feel like I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's I hear you.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, certainly I want him off Spider-Man at this point. I'm done. Like, you know,
Well, I was just thinking he's quite good at like teams.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true. I mean, like Ewing would be great on the Avengers. I don't know what he would do with them, but like he would. Well, it would probably have like the fucking Robot and Cap and Iron Man, and you know, it'd be the same team I don't care about right now, and they'd be in space a lot more.
Right.
But you know, he'd do a great job. Yeah. As far as I'm thinking of the bullpen, like people who actually work for Marvel right now. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. So yeah. Oh yeah. So I talked about that. And I didn't get a chance to read Savage Avengers, but like I hear it like sent. It's the end of Conan for the Marvel universe, which like of course. So let's talk about Axe, I guess. Judgment Day number 4.
Let's do it.
Kieran Gillen, Valeria Skiti.
Looks amazing.
Yeah, it does look amazing.
This book looks it's fire.
Yeah.
Actual fire.
Yep. Marte Gracia does the colors, of course.
Yeah.
I pointed out only because the colors are great. Like, you know, it's a combination. Like the book looks good.
Oh yeah.
You know, but like not anyone could color it and make it look great.
Yeah.
You know, it just looks great.
This book is like just so smart. It's like
I'm not wild about the covers. I know they're Mark Brooks and they're great, but like I think it's a little too busy.
I like, you know, it's funny. Like, you know how the Bone Orchard I was very much
a fan of.
That sold me.
Yeah.
That cover sold me.
Yeah, of course.
I don't like the covers. I'm not here for. I don't care about the cover.
Right. Yeah.
I
no.
just care about the content of this.
Right.
Book.
But I'm concerned.
I know you need a cover.
You need a cover, and like I don't think this sells the book. Like I think that the ornate like AXE. I think the whole effort to call it Axe. I think that failed.
I don't think so.
I think that no one wants to call it Axe. I think they call it Axe out of like derision or about like offhandedness. Like I don't think this works. I think like the book should just be called Judgment Day and move on. You know, like Marvel Contagion. Like just call it Judgment Day. You know, Avengers, X-Men, Eternals. I think the only reason why they're there
I think the book
is to sell the book.
Called Judgment Day, but you can also call
the book is called Axe Judgment Day. The book is called Avengers, X-Men, Eternals Judgment Day. I think the book should have just been called Judgment Day.
I think you're nitpicking.
I'm trying to help them here. You know, I'm trying to sell the damn thing. You know, the book isn't selling for a number of reasons.
How do you know it's not selling?
It's selling fine.
Explain that to me. I dare you.
Because they don't care. Because Marvel's not pushing it.
To show me it's not selling.
Because it's out. Because it's being undersold by Venom, which is a book that like I can't even imagine anyone giving a shit about.
Well, that's according to this one site.
That's true.
That doesn't mean anything.
That's true. That's true.
There actually doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You're just.
But I can't imagine anybody caring about that.
I actually very much like the ornateness of it because it's meant to show the world machine.
Yes.
It's supposed to give you this feeling of like machination and inorganic
like
material and technology you couldn't understand because it's beyond us in such a way.
I get regalness from the logo.
Right. I have no problem with Axe because like it does make it something easy to say.
It does, yeah. Yeah.
You know, as opposed to Judgment Day.
Right.
Which is if you think about it in terms of like SEO, for example, right? Axe obviously is a body spray, right?
You can't sell.
Judgment Day is
Terminator 2.
Is like 1,000 things.
There's a million things called.
But like
Judgment
you
Day.
can use them in conjunction.
If you use them all together,
then you might have an easier time with that.
That's true.
And so I absolutely understand the idea of doing that.
Yeah.
It also, you know, if someone says Axe, you know what they're talking about in the comic book world. If someone says Judgment Day, you know what they're talking about right now in the comic book world, right?
Yeah.
So only time will tell which one of these two names ends up actually sticking with it. But like, I wouldn't be too worried about it and have that be the thing that like someone harps on.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to harp on.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying anyone else who's maybe watching or commenting right now that's the thing that they're going to harp on is being like, that's why it's bad. I'm not reading it. It's like if that's the reason,
they're just looking for a reason not to.
If you're not reading it because of that, then like,
That's on you.
This ain't for you then. Because honestly, what I love about the charm of this book and the brilliance of this book is that like, you can take it very much on a surface level.
Yeah,
And
it's a cool fight.
It explains, it tells you what's going on. It looks great. There's a lot of moving parts, but they're handled well. I think they're balanced well.
Yeah.
But you can also dig deeper if you choose to. And I think there's a lot of meaning to a lot of the things that are happening. And not only within the actual Marvel universe itself, but like there could be allegories and like lessons to be learned from this book. And I think that's really interesting. And I honestly can't wait to see the finality of the progenitor.
Yeah.
You know, like what will happen to the progenitor? I can't wait.
Yeah.
For that. But yeah, this book's just so damn good. I just love it. I love when we go around and we check on people and see their judgment. We'll get into that, but I also love Eros doing his thing.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
Like,
and I like the the exploration of Eros doing that. Like how he's like, I'm approaching my thing from a whole new perspective, and it works. It works for him, and yeah.
Oh yeah, like Eros is like, no, we can't just do this like quick and dirty, like really.
Yeah, we'll just trick everyone. We'll hide.
Do this thing that clearly in like events that were cheaper could have absolutely been the solution.
Right, like we did it. We tricked. Well, a more cynical writer might have approached it like that, where it's like, or a more cynical approach where it's like, we tricked them, we tricked the god, and we have to live with the like sorrow of knowing that we may not have actually made it.
Yeah,
and no, we're not going to do that.
Right. But I love the judgments around the world. We run into a whole bunch of characters, including like actual superpowered characters and characters who like Gillen introduced to us just to be like a human, like word that I'm trying to say.
Cool.
Throw it in there.
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Representation. That was the word. Human representation. And also like life lessons for us, I suppose.
Yeah.
Some of my favorites, obviously Professor X.
Yes.
Because in I think it was Immortal X-Men, he was like,
he couldn't care less.
He's like the progenitor could have come to me and judged me, and I may not have noticed because I'm literally fighting like a forever war with the Eternals right now on the psychic plane. Right.
And we find out, he didn't.
And I love it. It's his son. I like out of all the things you could judge Professor X on, that's the one. And
I like that. That's the thing that the progenitor knows.
Yeah,
he would feel bad about.
Right. He's like, he comes to him and like it's David who could judge him.
Yep.
And it's he's like, I love that. He was like, the progenitor's talking to us as the narrator, and it's like, I judge him that he failed. I don't think he noticed. And I'm like, yeah, Chuck.
Yep.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Doom. I'm sure for a lot of folk,
it was great.
Great moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Even people who hate this book are going to be like, well, I mean, at least the Doom part was cool.
Yeah. I literally love too that he comes as the Celestial.
Yeah.
Because who would judge Doom?
No one.
He's like, I can't.
It's like, I am judging you, but you don't really, you don't care about what other people have to say.
I suppose I didn't even need to do that. So
I guess he could have come as Doom.
Yeah. Daredevil.
I love that moment.
It's such a great moment.
Yep.
That like he comes as Jesus.
Yeah.
And fails him. And he's like,
yep, that tracks.
Yeah, no, I you're right.
I don't like necessarily care about Miles, but I love the moment.
That moment.
It was such a funny moment.
So much.
Like that Miles missed it. Like he doesn't even know that he was being judged.
Yeah.
I like the idea. Hey, he's like, yeah. I gave him a thumbs up. He gives one back.
It's adorable.
Right?
And that's just Gillen to a T in like literally 3 lines. If you don't know who Miles Morales is, you have you have an idea of who Miles Morales is. I love that.
Yeah.
I also like the progenitor, like there's a child there and he's like,
he didn't do his homework yet.
But he's too young. I'm not a monster.
No. He's going to. I'm not going to judge him yet.
Yeah, I withhold judgment.
For now.
We'll see. Well, he may never.
It's really his parents' fault. And that's what he says.
But listen, like everyone in this book has a plan.
Yeah.
Most of them have fallen apart, so it obviously will fall to our core Eternals.
Yep.
Cersei was the one who broke Eros out. Eros has his own plan going on.
Yeah, they do that. Basically, the Devil's Reign again, where they're like, okay, the Prime Eternal thing sucks.
Yeah.
Let's run another phony election.
Well, but we don't know that that's what it's going to happen because what they're most concerned about is it Uranus, because like
Yeah.
Ajax is like, no, we'll just come in with the Celestial and we'll totally fix this and it's gonna be great, because like she will not let it go,
No.
right? And everyone's like, did you see what happened to Araco?
It's over.
Did you see? Because like, yeah, we have this problem, but there is another problem, because Druig is going to become desperate enough that he's
going to unleash Uranus again.
He will use him.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, and then
Yeah.
that like they basically Druig's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. But what I will do is, what if I make the Unimind and then like I'll actually weaponize it?
Yes.
And like Uranus is like, that can actually be a thing. And so it does that. And like Krakoa was like, huh.
Unimind, you say?
That's a big problem. It's like it comes as like a huge monster looking thing.
Yeah.
Because the Hex have joined in with it, right?
Uh-huh.
And Druig has done this because like loyalists to him like suggested it. They're like, you
Yes.
should do this. Like if you want to hang on to control, this is what you got to do. And he's like, okay,
use our one thing we do.
So they do it, and the Eternals show up, like our core Eternals. So Cersei and who else is with them? Phastos is there, and Athena is there. So they're like, okay, let's do this. They show up and like join the Unimind, and Druig's like, you idiots. Did you come to like join us? Because like that's fine. I'll totally forgive you. We'll just mind wipe you guys, and you can just
we'll start all over again.
It's cool. Don't worry about it. But you guys are so dumb. And Cersei's like, you are the dumb one. You think you had loyalists?
Right. No one likes you.
No one likes you.
You won by default. You were an accident.
Told you to do this.
Exactly.
Because like we knew that like
you're a steward. You're an interim prime eternal.
Yeah, essentially.
We needed to vote. You're the Biden.
Yeah. We want to vote you out, and so we needed the Unimind to be gathered, and like so that's
so
what
here
happened.
We go. Hey, Eternals, we want a new prime eternal.
But Icarus and I believe Gilgamesh are within like the machine, and they get rid of the fail safes and allow the X-Men or the mutants of Krakoa to vote and join. And they're like, we'll vote for Eros.
Yeah, which I think. Is that they're like, did they steal the Eros is going to make everyone in the world love each other and then we'll trick them plan and affect it and use it on the Eternals instead? Where it's like, we're all going to vote for Uranus or we're going to vote for Eros.
No. It's just that
they all like Eros more.
There's enough of the Krakoans to sway the vote.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of Eternals, right? But there are way more mutants, right?
Yeah.
And so like the people of Krakoa, Jean represents them and says, we vote for Eros, right? So it counts for all these votes.
Right.
No, this plan actually came from, remember, he's talking to Sebastian Shaw, who's like, hey, he did a really great job. He's like, but do you actually have the backing of the Eternals? And Eros is like,
yeah.
Actually, I don't.
Yeah. Not yet.
I should probably get that.
Right.
Okay. That is a thing we need to make happen, right?
Yeah.
So like Eros ends up becoming like Prime Eternal, but not before like Druig is like, I'm gonna lose power. That's all I ever wanted. I just wanted to have power. And he contacts Uranus, and Uranus is like,
let me out.
As being me, I get to vote for my entire lineage,
right?
Which will swing the vote for you.
Yeah, but you gotta let me out.
But you gotta let me out. That's all you gotta do. Just let me out.
Right.
And he does, and immediately he's like,
I'm not gonna vote for you.
I'm actually not gonna do that at all. I'm not gonna help you. I'm just free, so I'm actually just gonna attack Earth.
Right.
And I'm gonna do the job you couldn't do.
Yep.
And so he does, and they're like,
fuck.
Well, that's a problem.
Yep. I like Eros's establishment as Eternal Prime. That's great.
Yeah, he's like, I'm in charge now.
Well, it's good to use that character.
Yeah, why not?
We're not doing anything else with him. Fine, why not?
Right.
Because like we had our fun with like the Thanos thing,
right? But now we can set up, if they ever decide to do anything else with the Eternals, if the Eternals aren't totally wiped off the map, like we actually have set up that if Thanos comes back, he has a thing to do.
His brother is his adversary. It'd be great. No, it's a great use of that character.
Like, yeah, cool. Thank you, Gillen. You set something up. Maybe we'll knock it down. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, essentially, Uranus is like, I'm gonna win. But like, he ends up closing off the machine.
Yeah.
So like, I think Icarus and Gilgamesh are stuck in there.
Yes.
And they're like, what does that mean? They're like, they'll fight him. They will not win. And they don't. Right. Like that's not what happens. But that's fine, because if you read X-Men Red, 2 characters show up, which that was the only one where I was like, all right, if you didn't read that tie-in, you might have been slightly confused as to why Magneto has a big hole in his chest.
No, because that happened earlier.
That's
that happened in the other issue.
Well, Araco
was destroyed. No, but like I think in the last issue we saw Magneto get that hole.
Okay,
we saw that already.
I thought that was X-Men Red.
So we're just gonna jump. We if you didn't read X-Men Red, you don't even need it.
Cool.
You just jump right from Magneto gets a hole in his chest and uses magnetism to keep his head, his body together to this.
Cool. I thought that was in another book, but fine.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially like a combination of like Eternals, X-Men, and Avengers
Yes.
defeat Uranus.
Right.
Which I love that because it is making promise
That's the book.
of the axe. Like, here's the axe.
Yeah.
The axe isn't a versus thing. It's actually a collaboration of like
Yes.
our real Eternals, not the other Eternals who are jerks right now. But actually now they're not anymore.
Yep.
And they end up taking hold of his portals and like using his own weaponry against him.
Yep.
Thus destroying him enough that they can put him. He's not dead.
No, but they take like his essence or like ashes.
They take what's left of him. They put him
in
back
the cell.
in the exclusion, and he's growing back.
Yeah, so
I'm
he'll
like,
be back maybe around the time Apocalypse returns.
He can't. It's fine. And then we have a literal gorgeous panel.
Yeah.
Of
the
aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
Of Storm and Magneto. It is such a beautiful, beautiful moment. That I won't ruin for you.
No.
But it's time.
Yeah.
Like Eros makes a plea to the Celestial, but the Celestial is judged enough, and here we go.
Yeah.
Like Earth shall now be judged.
Mm-hmm. It's a no, guys.
It's a fail.
Yeah.
I really like that moment right at the end with Cap.
Yep.
I thought that was spectacularly drawn. I thought Skeety did a great job.
Easily.
And I like Gillen's characterization of Cap, that in the face of doom, like he like still protects.
Yeah.
Like it's just I just feel like Gillen really understands these characters.
He does.
Even if he's not maybe written for all of them, like he has like enough of an idea of who they are so they get to remain true to themselves and possibly be their best selves. In the face of utter annihilation. So I'm like, is this one big test? Is that what this really is? Is this the final test?
I think so. I don't know. I don't think so. I think this is just it.
Because this book had a lot of skeletons in it.
Yes.
The horror books I was reading, not a lot of skeletons, but like this had a pretty good skeleton counter.
It did.
And like I am at the end of the day apparently looking for some skeletons in my books.
I think that's fair. Supremo Mahiga says, sorry I arrived late. What are your thoughts on Will's Amazing Spider-Man run so far? For me, it just feels meh at this point. Just meh, indifferent, like whatever. Fair. Yeah, I'm similar.
Yeah.
Danv900, an issue for me with Axe, which is I like the Remender Uncanny Avengers arc, were better. With Ragnarok now and Avenge the Earth, and the Celestial and Ragnarok now blew up the Earth and deemed Earth unworthy. You then had Avenge of the Earth with 5 issues of reversing it and getting rid of Planet X with that Council of Mutants with the repercussions, 2 issues left, blah, blah, blah. The point is...
That's like 2 totally different events.
Yeah, it's 2 different events, and they're 2 different runs, and they're completely different combinations. And the other thing that really you need to let go of is the idea that, like, just because something looks similar to another thing doesn't mean that the thing that looks similar to it in your very personal, very subjective perspective on a piece of art is that it doesn't invalidate or lessen the other thing. Like, there are a million stories in which like Spider-Man fights the Green Goblin and it's well written.
Yeah.
There are a million stories in which Bane puts Batman through the ringer. And, there's at least 2 or 3 of the stories in which Batman and Bane are like matching wits and put through the ringer, and it's like the greatest battle of his life, and it doesn't undo any of them or make one better than the other. And I would bet you $100 that nothing that happens in Axe happens in any of the Remender run, and I can tell you that because I read it,
right?
And I can tell you that it actually isn't anything like.
I would also say that like since Aaron set up the whole like the Avengers being in a Celestial and the Celestials being so tied, of course, to Eternals mythos, that it's just Gillen taking pieces
and cleaning them up or using it
and connecting them and seeing like that, like, hey, there is a common thread here and we can make this work. And like, what if we explore this one element now? I get people being upset about like the change in where mutants come from. I get that.
I don't even think that was a complaint of it.
No. I'm just saying other people.
Yeah, I can see that being a complaint, but
it's Gillen like putting everything together to make the story like have these characters have like a commonality.
And the other thing is like, you speak to stakes, and that's the real like heart of it, right? Is that like what you're remembering isn't necessarily like that this is inferior to that because they're both too similar. What you're remembering is that when you were reading Remender's run, which I think is almost 10 years old, that it was a different time at Marvel. It was a different time for you as a human being, and it was like stakes were higher because you may have either been more invested in it during that time or that Marvel was more invested in selling that story to you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I am the one who's like talking on about this event, which I enjoy, that I think that Marvel is doing a horrible job selling and promoting. Like, I don't think Marvel cares about this. I think they care enough to keep Gillen and to allow him to do whatever he wants. I feel like
that's an issue with their summer events in particular, because we saw that with Monsters Unleashed
Monsters
years
Unleashed
ago.
one of those things where they just, I don't even know.
No, but that was a summer, like there's certain summer events that are just like whatever.
Yeah, they're like,
we
put it out.
do it in the summer.
And I think Judgment Day is one of those things where they thought it was going to be like, oh, it's like Monsters, just put it out. And then it was like, oh, it's good. Uh-oh. You know?
Yeah.
Because that happens. Marvel will put out a summer event where they're, like you said, it's just like, here's something, I don't know. It's just a stopgap. It's not like, like DC stopgaps where it's like we're moving offices or we're completely restructuring our entire hierarchy.
Right.
It's just like, I don't know.
Right.
Just put it out. I mean, like, as we know, there's only like 2 editors at Marvel, and like, they're busy. They're busy people.
They're very busy.
Because Marvel has to put out like more books than every other publisher.
Yeah.
Dex Baker, my birthday's tomorrow too.
Happy
birthday, Young Goku, and here's a gift for ComicPop. Thank you very much, Dex and Young Goku. Happy birthday to both of you, gentlemen. Thanks for being here.
Hope you do something fun and amazing.
Your pre-birthday. I hope it goes well, man.
I think we're caught up.
I think we are caught up. All right. Amazing Spider-Man #9 from Zeb Wells and Patrick Gleason, I believe, did the art on this one.
Ooh.
And so it's great. Like, despite this terrible cover, let's talk about why this cover is terrible. There's a number of reasons, and I don't want to. It's not a John Romita Jr. bag. It has the Hellfire Gala logo on it because it takes place during the Hellfire Gala.
Yeah, it's a Hellfire Gala tie-in.
Yeah, and it's over. It's been over, so you can get rid of that. You can just get rid of that.
But you do need to know that because.
But you're not going to know that from the cover. Like, no one's buying this because of the cover.
Right.
Like, the only thing you're doing is confusing the people who are.
But like if they end up putting these together, they have to put those in.
Yeah, but they don't need a logo on the cover to tell the publisher to put it in the book.
No, I mean, like when they like bind up this volume of Spider-Man, like sometimes the covers are in there or like on them, and then like you're gonna want like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
all right,
that's what's going on.
I get it. That's a terrible idea. Also, not for nothing, but it's a really bad color choice for the Hellfire Gala logo on there. Doesn't match the color.
It's really hard to tell if it's supposed to be
gold or pea soup.
Wait, maybe they took it trying to match his.
I don't
logo
know what
thingy.
they're doing. The cover, also the indication, the implication of Moira McTaggart as the antagonist. I don't even think she looks anything like that in this book. I don't remember. I think she looks like a robot. Oh, she's a robot.
Well, I mean, yes, she is a robot.
Yeah,
she is a robot.
Yeah, but this I don't know what this is supposed to be. And then the dialogue, which is like just like, don't do that. Don't do that. It's not 1962 anymore. You can stop that now. Even in 1962, like fucking Amazing Fantasy 15, I think, there's dialogue on that cover. But like, should I be as scared as I am? More bub. There's no interaction like this. There's no need for that. It's just, it's like it's like a first idea. Just awful. Just awful.
Wolverine's a busy guy.
Yeah, he's in everything. Also, and then you get into the John Romita art, which is, one way or the other. I will tell you that like the new costume does not, this cover does it no favors. It looks like he's wearing a backpack.
I thought he was.
He's not. It's a suit.
Oh.
So
and that's not like me being a jerk.
He also doesn't wear this suit until later anyway, because he's at the Hellfire Gala. But which would have been really cool if like, Patrick Gleason got to draw the Hellfire Gala suit. Like as in action. So yeah, that's that. Apparently we're having like connectivity issues.
Oh.
But yeah, sorry, man. What can I do for you? But
we had some weather.
We did. After the weather comes, then the water like gets into the line and it gets like weird. I don't know. It's all connected to the Ethernet though. It's supposed to be going well. So there you go. But yeah, so Spider-Man, he teams up with Wolverine, they fight Moira. It's the whole story about like that was set up in Hellfire Gala about like Moira being in Mary Jane and da-da-da. Orcus picks her up. She's like, she tells Mary Jane that she's only borrowing her, and then she says she's gonna murder her like a mustache twirling supervillain. She's like, I lied. And I'm like, oh man. Damn. Wow, like Moira's written so horribly, and like and then she becomes a robot,
right?
And she gets downloaded into it, and Spider-Man saves her, and Wolverine gets involved, and he doesn't do anything of any consequence, and like anyway, nobody wins. Like Mary Jane is rescued, and Moira is like she loses the way every like Saturday morning like cartoon villain loses, in which she leaves. It's like an episode of G.I. Joe. And then, there's like a last page like thing that says like, you'll never see them together anymore. It's like, he's like, hey, we should talk. And she's like, no, we can't talk anymore. It's over. And he's like, do you love him so much? She's like, it's about responsibility. I'm like, okay, you got to stop with the mystery. No one's on board for this mystery.
Maybe it's the jackal.
Oof. Yeah, that'd be a great way to pull it all together. The jackal made children, and gave them to Mary Jane and was like, you can't be with Peter,
and said like, they're yours,
right?
And they did like DNA tests and like,
right, and they are.
And she's like, I don't remember having kids.
Maybe Paul is. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh no. It's that Futurama movie. He's Lars.
Yeah.
Paul is Peter.
Oh, from the future?
He's a clone.
Oh.
He's ideal Peter.
Yeah, you think so?
No powers. I bet if you shaved that beard, I bet he looked like Peter Parker. He's a clone. They're all clones. Like Mary Jane took a deal with Miles Warren, and Miles Warren's like, I'll give you your perfect life if you leave, if you ruin his, if you ruin the real Peter's life.
Well, so she wouldn't do that.
Not if like she, but like, maybe she's like, no, I wouldn't. But he's like, but I made these children, and now there's responsibility. You have to take care of them, or I'm going to kill them, or I'm going to degenerate them. That'd be amazingly terrible, and I would hate it. But it'd be great because like I'm so divorced from caring about this series anymore that like I'd be like, wow, you really fucked that one up. Like, what a terrible train wreck. If Pete, okay, I'm calling it now. Paul's a Peter clone, or like or we go full Futurama and no, it's Peter from the future. But like no, it's clone. It's Pete. Paul's a clone of Peter, maybe aged up. And the children are his. She's like, these are our children. These are the children we should be having.
Yeah,
that we should have had.
That's why she won't talk to him, because she's like,
I can't. I'm cheating on you with you.
Or she's like, this is what we could have had. You messed this up.
Yeah, that's like every time I'm with Paul, I'm reminded about like how you rejected this perfect life we have. Oh, that's a theory. It's not really what's happening. Yeah. But this issue in particular is like, who cares? It's a very like disposable issue. It's a real shame too, because Patrick Gleason's great, and he's. If I were Patrick Gleason, I'd be really pissed that like I took the deal with Marvel, because like I would be woefully underutilized.
Mm-hmm.
At this point. Marvel should hire Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason and fucking give them a book.
They should give him Spider-Man.
They should give him Spider-Man. I would read the shit out of that.
I know you would.
Or give them Ben Reilly after Dark Web fails.
Or give him the Lars book.
Give him the Lars book, the Paul book, about how he can't
Is his
stop.
Name Paul?
His name's Paul.
Oh right, yeah.
Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Oh right.
Fart. So that's a thing, and it exists, and you can read it if you want. I wouldn't recommend that though. But yeah, there you have it. Wow. Thanks for stumbling upon that, so we can really have like.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I'm like a muse.
You are a muse.
It's clones. It's the jackal.
Tube as the one. In my humble opinion, it's kind of dumb to get mad at the mutants being a result of deviant human mixing. It makes sense, and it happened literally a million years ago. That's exactly right. There's no reason to worry about it.
Mad about it, but I just think some people were like shocked.
Like I get why you might be mad about that.
Yeah, like if you were, it's like I get it, but like
they changed something
I don't really think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's like it's not a big deal. It really doesn't change the fact that like we're connected, like humans and mutants are connected because deviants, and like it's fine. It's like whatever.
I know. Dr. J, the Paul and MJ thing in Spider-Man gives me Catwoman flashbacks to when she had a kid with some guy who wasn't Batman. I don't even remember that. Ray Farr, Sal's figured it out. Cut the cameras. I know, right? They're gonna, I'm pissed. Ooh. No, and I don't think they're gonna go so far as to make it like, no, like Miles Warren is Paul.
No.
That's gross. That's like borderline.
Have we seen the Jackal in a while?
Not in a while. Not for a while. There you go. Ryan McD, Spider-Man, one more clone. Sal is trapped.
It's tapped in.
It's tapped in. Thank you. Tiffany's idea. So let's recommend some comics that are coming out this week that we think you should pick up. Obviously, Nightwing number 96. You should pick it up. It's great. It's a great series. It's got a fun, cute little like sideways, what is it called? Brady Bunch cover. Fantastic Four number 47 is from David Pepos with Juan Cabal. This is Die Hard. It's Die Hard with Invisible Woman.
I'm gonna have to watch this I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm gonna have to read this.
I'm gonna watch it happen as I turn the pages.
I'm going to watch the pages and see what they have to tell me.
Yeah.
Because it's a Judgment Day tie-in. So
yeah. But I love it. Peppo's been pimping this book forever. But yeah, it's Die Hard in the Baxter Building, as I understand it.
Dope.
One Bad Day has returned, this time with Two-Face. It's written by Mariko Tamaki with art by Javier Fernandez. Let's see if this one's let's see if Tiffany likes this one. Deceased War of the Undead Gods #2. This is, don't let this weird title fool you. This is this is the third Deceased. This is Deceased 3 from Tom Taylor and Andy Lanning. Good stuff. Public Domain #4 is coming out. If you haven't already been reading Public Domain, it is, I think a lot of it's free on his Substack. You could go read it all right now, or you could buy this book, which you should, because it's a good book. It's written and drawn by Chip Zdarsky, and it's a really subversive, kind of like an examination of the comic book world for creators' rights and whatnot. It'll be a Hulu series before you know it. Like they're going to make it into a show.
You think so?
I don't see them not doing it. You know, it would cost them nothing. It's just people walking around and talking and doing stuff.
You nothing.
It would cost them like literally nothing to do that. So yeah, that's Public Domain is just a book you're not reading, and you should definitely read it. Yeah. And by the way, I know people have like all their theories about like what, you know, who Paul might be, because I didn't even think about Paul being anybody until you mentioned that like he might be a clone or something, or a future Peter Traveler. But I don't think they're going to make Paul into anything. The only way it'll work is if Paul is a clone of Peter or a guy named Paul that she like is in love with, because any other thing takes away her agency and makes it really creepy. Like it's why Doc Ock Peter's body doesn't hook up with Mary Jane, like because it would be like a violation. And Marvel, I think, is at least a little aware that they shouldn't be doing that. I should also mention, I think you called it, and I want you to talk about it as well. But Vanish from Stegman and Cates comes out.
Oh, I just wanted to bring it up. I
feel free. This is their Substack book.
Yeah. So if you wanted to read that but didn't get a chance, and you're a Donny Cates Ryan Stegman fan, you might want to grab that.
I will say the art is some of Stegman's best.
Nice.
It's very like, you know, fun and spawny. You'll love it.
It's spawny.
It's spawny.
This is one of those like heavier weeks for me, especially if you're an X fan. There's a lot that's coming out. Like New Mutants #30 is coming out.
Yep.
This is not tied in to Judgment Day.
So just some New Mutants.
Just New Mutants coming out #30. Written by Vita Ayala and Alyssa Wong with art by Jeff Shaw.
Ooh.
At least that's what this thing says. So.
Listen, this freaking thing says.
Avengers #60. Normally I don't talk about Avengers, but it is a tie-in.
And it's written by someone else.
It's written by Mark Russell.
Oh, but Greg Land drew it.
Listen. I'm going to have to get over that because I want to see the Avengers get judged.
I do too.
So I'm looking forward to checking that out.
It's kind of funny that Aaron isn't writing the one where he himself would be judged. Like, oh, my team's getting judged for all the bullshit?
It looks like it's mostly about Hawkeye, and I'm okay with that.
Oh, all right.
That's fine. Strange #6 is coming out. I like this, like, sort of like vintage retro movie poster look to it. Written by Jed McKay with art by Lee Garbett.
Is this book almost over? I think it's coming to the end soon, right?
I don't know if this had a number.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I honestly don't.
Ooh.
I gotta throw this out there, guys. Leah Williams is writing a new book in the X run. It's Exterminators #1. Enter the Grindhouse of X.
What a good looking cover.
This cover looks dope. Dope looking cover.
Hooray.
With art by Carlos Gomez. It's a team up of like Jubilee, Boom Boom, and Dazzler.
Love it. Yes.
So this seems like, it literally seems like a Grindhouse style movie. Like,
good.
I'm
it's
here
like
for
Death
this.
Proof, but with them.
Yeah, it says that they're out on a night on the town to console Dazzler up after a nasty breakup. They have no idea they're about to be kidnapped and put into an elaborate death trap for their efforts.
Oh no!
I'm like, yep, okay.
Sounds like some Murder World vibes.
Just check that out. Why not? Legion of X is also coming out. This is the Simon Spurrier written X title with art by Jan Bazaldua. Also not a tie-in.
So if you just want to read some straight X-Men,
yeah, if you were just waiting for that to come back
and give Simon Spurrier some work,
yeah, they've got like a whole mystery going on with the Horn God of Mischief and like, you know, other such conspiracies happening between Arakko and Krakoa. So you know, you can check that out. Also shout out to X-Men Unlimited X-Men Green, which I think was a digital series first, and now it's been printed. I think this is it.
I think you're right.
It's just 2 issues. So it's written by Jerry Duggan with art by Emilio Liso. Again, when I talked about the first issue of this, I very much said like this is not a book for everybody.
Yeah,
At all.
You did. You were like,
Jerry Duggan has a thing to say, and like, and that's not for everyone.
And I think he thought it was only going to be on digital anyway.
Totally get that. So like, listen, if you don't have the scratch for this, it is 52 pages. You get it is for $6 though. But like this has a message to it. So if like this may not be for you, I liked it, so I'm gonna pick up the other one. So
cool.
That's what I got.
Also, Judgment Day number 5.
Oh, and I didn't say that. I just saw that tab and I was like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You guys know that tab there. Why do I have to even tell
No.
you? Axe Judgment Day number 5 is coming out, written by Kieran Gillen with art by Valerio Schiti. This event is just like moving along. I love this description. It just says it's too late.
Wow, a freaking major event that affects the publishing line that is written and drawn by the same creative team that's out on time.
Yeah.
What a novel concept.
Yeah, it's almost like part of me is like, I want
to buy it because it's out.
Yeah, but I also want it to last because I'm just really enjoying what Gillen's doing with this, and I can't honestly wait to see how it finishes up, and hopefully I feel the same like feeling at the end as well. But I'd like to reread this as like one solid thing.
Oh hell yeah.
And then talk to Ben and Ethan about it at some point.
I think that would be amazing.
I would love to know their reaction.
Oh yeah. Like, I think they'd have a fun time.
I hope so.
But yeah, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Of course, don't forget all the stuff we told you at the top of the show. We'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned for Chris. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.